Jared, thanks you very much for making time for us. As you know, you're in a city that has some of the highest incarceration rates for African Americans. When you look at the First Step Act, how better can you scale it to be available for more people?
Right. If you look at what's happened in this location, the policies that have been in place have not worked. You have too many people in prison who shouldn't be in prison, and there's not enough opportunity in these communities. President Trump has not only done criminal justice reform, which is bringing more job training to the prisons, he's also increased the economy to the point where we now have the lowest unemployment rate in the last 50 years, and he passed opportunity zones, which is bringing more and more companies to the inner cities. So what we saw today was a lot of workers who want to get back, people who are in prison, who are coming out of prison, who want to get into the workforce, and there's more opportunity today than ever before because of President Trump's leadership.
First Step Act had bipartisan support, but I know you played a role in trying to get the president to sign it. What was the key moment for him to say, let's go with it?
Right, it wasn't getting the president to sign it, it was getting the president to endorse the legislation in the form that it was, because there was a lot of people from all sides trying to put things into the bill that didn't have a place in the bill. But for the president, he campaigned on fighting for the forgotten men and women of this country, and the more he learned about what happened with people in prison and the struggles that they face getting out, he thought that there was nobody more forgotten or underrepresented than the people in prison, and that it was his job as President of the United States to try to give them more opportunity to get a job and to get back onto their feet once they get into society so that they don't have to turn back to a life of crime.
What did you hear from some of the people in the program today that you'll take back to say, here's how it can be improved?
So a lot of good suggestions. The first thing I'll say about the program today is that it's working. It's absolutely got a lot of tenets that are very, very good. It's not big enough. We need to get the programs like this to be bigger. We need more of them. But the thing that was an overall theme was that people were saying they were being taught to want to work and what it takes to get a job and then how to keep a job. But one of the things I loved about Pastor Smith and the way he approaches it is he defined the difference of people showing up, people who need a job versus people who want a job. And he wants to work with people who want a job, because you can't help people who don't want to help themselves. But if people do want to make their lives better, programs like this are very effective, and we have to make sure that there are more programs like this and that they're more available, and make sure that more people who need them know about them.
What would you say to states like Wisconsin, has the Republicans in the Assembly and the Senate and a Democratic governor? This is a federal program. How do they scale it at states, and what needs to be done to broaden the program where more inmates are in prison, in state prisons versus federal?
So what we did was a federal program, but we've been working with local leadership in a lot of the cities throughout the country to figure out ways to make progress and bring more jobs for people who need jobs and more opportunity for people who need opportunity. President Trump, when it comes to local leadership, he'll work with a Democrat, he'll work with a Republican, he'll work with whoever will get the job done. And the truth is that in these communities, the federal government can't solve all the problems, but we can work with great local leadership to bring great solutions to a lot of the problems that have lasted for too long. But you said yourself earlier about the rates of incarceration and some of the problems in this community. The policies that have been in place here for a long time have not been working, and it's time to try new things. And President Trump's brought a fresh approach, new ideas, and these successes are starting to turn the tide.
You travel a lot for the president as a senior advisor. You've seen a lot of places. What are your impressions about Milwaukee and Wisconsin?
Milwaukee's great. This is my third time here, and Wisconsin's a great state. The president was fortunate to win Wisconsin. Hopefully in the next election he'll do even better. But there's some great people from Wisconsin that we love to work with, and the president has great memories with this state. And obviously with the Packers winning last week, that keeps your state a little happier, so they'll hopefully keep going.
You think you'll be a Packers fan?
Well, we'll see what happens. Right now I'm from New York, so I'm a Giants fan,
right.
which these days it'd be much better to be a Packers fan.
Thank you for your time.
Great. Thank
Always
you very
good
much.
talking with you.
Thank you.